all things carving in Orion Drift. Everything from floor carving to backwards wall carving. So no matter how you carve, carving is all about changing direction while maintaining speed. So for this floor carve, naturally we're going to start by getting speed. Next thing you want to do is whichever direction you want to turn, stick out that arm. Now lower that arm until it touches the ground. That is where you want your hand to be while you floor carve. So now my hand is on the ground, and all you have to do is turn in the direction of your hand. The faster you turn in real life, the faster you will turn in the game. It's important to remember that your body is going to go perpendicular to your hand. I can be going this way, but if I change my hand to be going that way, I start going that way, always going perpendicular to your hand. Knowing this fact makes it very easy to chain together floor carves. When you're done going one direction, simply lift up the hand, put down your other hand and turn in that direction. Keeping in mind that your body always moves perpendicular to your hand makes it very easy to carve backwards on the floor as well. Simply stick out the hand in the direction you want to go and turn. You can see once again, I'm always going perpendicular to my hand. Keeping this fact in mind once again lets us do very quick carves without even turning our bodies. Now we must conquer the wall. This one's on the side of the parkour district, right behind the master gym. Very basics of wall carving are putting your body near the wall, putting your hand up against the wall, and we're gonna just glide. Right now we're just practicing staying close to the wall. Once we get good at just gliding along the wall like this, we're going to do a nice smooth rainbow with our hands over our heads. Like so. You can see kind of towards the top of my rainbow, I started catching and I changed directions. This uses the same principle as floor carving, where you always travel in the perpendicular direction to your hand. Now that we've done a wall carve from the ground and with both hands, let's come to the top of this wall. We can practice doing an even bigger and slower one. Once again, with both sides. Now while trying to do these big and slow ones, you might realize it's really hard to stay close to the wall. But don't worry, there is a solution. Let's say I'm carving right here on this wall. If I keep my body in real life facing the same way the entire time, look at how far away I push myself from the wall. So instead, once I get towards the top of my rainbow, I'm going to turn my body to face the wall. And now I can continue my rainbow without pushing myself away from the wall. But you can tell facing the wall is kind of annoying sometimes. So to fix that problem, we're only going to turn our shoulders and keep our head facing the same way. You can see I can do full carves and stay very close to the wall. So now that we're masters at staying close to the wall, we can start chaining them together. Now chaining a bunch of wall carves going in the same direction is cool and all, but there is a way we can go back and forth on the wall. In order to do this, we are going to need to switch hands mid-wall carve. So we're going to start with one hand on our wall carve. We're going to carve down, start facing the wall, and once our hand is at the top of the rainbow, is when we want to transition to our other hand. So we're going to turn around, and keeping in mind that we move in the direction perpendicular to our hand, we have to start our hand low, and then continue doing another rainbow. Once again, keeping in mind that your body moves perpendicular to the direction your hand is, we can start with our hand up and move it back. You can carve up walls. This also allows us to carve backwards, starting with our hand down and moving our hand backwards over our head. Now for the final boss, ceiling carving. Once you're in the parkour district, we're going to venture through those big doors. And then through this door right here. And this is the master gym. This floating platform right here is meant for ceiling carving. So the basics to ceiling carving are very similar to floor carving. First, we need speed. Second, stick your hand out straight to your side. Lift it until it's just barely above your head. Now run up under the ceiling, jump, and begin turning right before you hit the ceiling. You have to turn in the same direction of which hand is touching the ceiling. Once you're on the ceiling, you have to slowly lift up your hand as you're carving in order to stay on there as long as possible. A common problem I see is people lift their hands way too high before they even start carving. If this happens, you're pretty much immediately just gonna fall off. Make sure it's barely above your head when you start so that you still have enough distance to slowly lift it up during your carve. Now backwards ceiling carving is the same thing, you just need to keep in mind your body is going to move in the perpendicular direction to your hand. Now we've chained together floor carves and wall carves, but what about ceiling carves? Yes, you can in fact chain ceiling carves. The first ceiling carve of your chain, you're gonna just move your hand. Don't turn your body, because as we know, your body will go in the direction perpendicular to your hand. Next, you need to meet the ceiling with your other hand without dropping your first hand. But right before your new hand meets the ceiling, you want to start turning in that direction. And everything to normal ceiling carving still applies here. You still need to slowly lift your hands up, and that's what makes this hard. Now knowing everything that we know about ceiling carving, that technically means backwards ceiling carved chains are possible. But I think that's a beast for a different day. So you've made it to the end? Maybe you learned something, maybe I forgot something. Comment down below if you need anything, and I'll see you in the next one.